Hello and once again, welcome to this week's Tech News. For this week's highlight, we'll take a look at some controversial stuff regarding reviews on certain products, as well as some leaks and rumors later on, so do stick around. And before we move on, as always, do subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on when we upload. First up, recently, there's a new model of the PlayStation 5 which was first spotted in Japan. This PS5 is 300 grams lighter than the original model, which could be explained by the reduction of the heatsink size, among other factors. And with that, YouTuber Austin Evans published a video reviewing this PS5 model and found out that it had higher exhaust temperatures, about 3 to 5 degrees Celsius warmer, and it may have something to do with the smaller heatsink, as well as the model having different fan blades. However, both Igor's Lab and Hardware Busters have taken this into their own hands and tested this themselves. In terms of thermal, they've actually measured lower temperatures for the surface and insides of the PS5. The smaller heatsink is actually able to keep the APU 10 degrees Celsius cooler by allowing enough headroom for the AMD APU to move slightly. The fans also did their part in pushing out all of the heat from the console in both idle and during gaming. If you're interested to see both sides of the argument, you can check out both of their videos in the links down below. So back in August, Minisforum launched the EliteMini HX90, a small desktop PC that featured AMD Ryzen 5900HX processor, and it seems that there's a bit of hiccup on the product, cause contrary to the official product description, which says that it features liquid metal cooling, some reviewers would say otherwise. Gamers Nexus and Debauer found out that the PC was all covered in liquid metal, while the Ryzen CPU itself was actually using thermal paste. This will cause a huge problem, because if liquid metal is applied to the wrong areas, it could cause a short circuit, since liquid metal is a highly conductive material. We're not done there, oh no. This product was also advertised as being easily upgradable, letting you install your own SSDs and RAM. The problem is that the company used security Torx screw for the PC, making it significantly harder and more annoying to open. Now, the company did respond to this by saying that they sent out the wrong samples to the reviewers, as well as having intentions to replace the Torx screw with a Phillips screw so users won't have to rake their brains out on just trying to open it. We'll put the links for the review videos down below, so check them out for more details. Next up, Video Cards received some photos of a supposedly new mining card from AMD. The card is branded with the XFX logo, which could indicate that it'll be another crypto mining card from this company. The photos of the card was said to be from China, and unfortunately, that's about all the info we'll be getting from the one who sent the photos. Video Cards also received a screenshot of the performance of the card, showing that it can reach 39.06 MHz per second, while reaching 92 degrees Celsius. Now, there's a reason why they think that this GPU might be the Radeon RX 6700M, or basically a repurposed version of it. A look at the specs tells us that this thing runs on Navi 22 with 2304 stream processors and 10GB of GDDR6 memory across a 160-bit interface. But since this is a desktop card, you could also assume that this is the unreleased version of the Radeon RX 6700 non-XT. Either way, there is no actual confirmation from official sources, so take it as you will. So before we move on, we'd like to divert your attention to TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is a browser extension to help you on your endeavors for content creation in YouTube. TubeBuddy has a bunch of tools that will make it easier for you to manage your channel, like the upload checklist, thumbnail generator, comment filters, and more. It's free to use on Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and Microsoft Edge, so for content creators out there, do give it a try. Now back to the video. It seems that the details of Samsung Exynos 2200 have been revealed, as its performance has been reported on Geekbench. How do we know that this is Exynos 2200? Well, Geekbench data has listed Samsung Voyager EVTA1 in the driver section, and the codename Voyager has been leaked to be used on the Exynos 2200 processor, and so far everything adds up. Regarding the specifications, this processor would sport a total of 8 cores, with 4 cores clocked up to 1.73 GHz, 3 cores up to 2.5 GHz, and 1 core up to 2.59 GHz. Another thing to add is that this benchmark is for CPU computing power only, and therefore has no confirmation for AMD GPU. Now, of course, when you bring up Geekbench, you also bring up core scores, and Exynos 2200 has scored a total of 1073 for single core and 3389 for multi-core. Samsung Exynos 2200 is now expected to debut with Galaxy phones in early of 2022. Since there hasn't been any official release of Exynos 2200 to date, you should at least try to be a little skeptical about the aforementioned details on it. Last month, we mentioned about Google's upcoming Pixel 6 series and how they will be powered by the Tensor chip. And now we've got details of the chip, or at least alleged details of it. As mentioned by a leaker on Twitter who goes by Digital Chat Station, the first clue of the chipset being the Tensor is that it's developed by Google. The chipset is also expected to outperform both Snapdragon 888 and Exynos 2100, as it will feature two Cortex-X1 cores, each clocked at 2.80 GHz. Whereas the Snapdragon and Exynos only featured one Cortex-X1 core each, clocked at 2.91 GHz and 2.84 GHz respectively. So far, this level of CPU performance already shows some promise. Besides the two X1 cores, there are also two cores clocked at 2.25 GHz, as well as another 4 cores clocked at 1.80 GHz. The Tensor will also feature ARM's Mali G78 GPU, the same one that's been used for Exynos 2100. Now, while these are all still speculations, if they turn out to be true, it'll mean that the Pixel 6 series will be equipped with a rather powerful chipset, which should dominate the Snapdragon 888 in CPU performance at the very least. Now, the last piece of news that we'll be featuring for this week will be about Android 12, specifically its release date. Michelle Rahman of the XDA developers seems to have found out when Google will be releasing Android 12. Based on the timetable that Rahman provided in his tweet, it seems that Android 12 will be releasing to Android Open Source Project, or AOSP for short, on the 4th of October 2021, much later than Android 10 and 11's September release on previous years. And after that, Android OEMs should start distributing Android 12 to devices, and later on, Google's Pixel 6 series would probably be the first to launch with the new OS. This would make sense since previous Pixel smartphones also got this kind of treatment before. So, are you hyped for Android 12? And that's all we'll be covering for this week. If you feel like you've gained something from this video, do leave a like. And come back next time when we'll report more tech news for the week. Again, just subscribe to us if you don't want to miss out on that. You can also check out our recent videos on 5 reasons why you should use certain OS, so do give that a visit if you're interested. And with that, we'll see you next time, so until then, take care.